Hey guys, Malkoof1974 coming back at you with another tutorial on Kerbal Space program. This time we're going to teach you how to do a little bit of a rendezvous with other vessels and dock with them. Now, I'm not going to go over how to build this rocket. I'm just going to tell you what you need on it. You can build the rocket any way you want as long as it can get into a low Kerbal orbit. All you need to do is have a docking port. Obviously, you need the capsule to put the guy in it. And anytime you suck up the docking port on the top port, you're most likely going to have to put the radial parachutes on the side of it. So that's all I did. And you're going to need some RCS, and you're going to need thrusters. Now let me go over this real quick with you. See how I have my RCS thrusters right here? Well, the way you find out where to put your RCS thrusters is to go down here, the little weight thing. It says center of mass. Push that, and it will show you the center of the mass of the whole vessel. You want to put your RCS right in the center of the mass. A lot of people, let me just do this real quick. A lot of people go like this, and I used to do it this way too. You can get your RCS straight from control, by the way, if you're curious. A lot of people like to go like that. I can tell you right now that is a waste of RCS. You'll blow through more RCS and you know what to do with it, and it's not needed on a small vessel like this. So just hit your center of mass. On this particular one, I only have 3, so, but you could put 4 if you want, but I only really need 3. There you go. So remember that. And anytime you want to test the center of mass of something, if you're testing the center of mass of, say, your whole vessel, it's going to show it right there. So if you want to see the center of mass of just the orbiter, make sure you take that that section off, and it will show you the whole center of mass for the whole vessel. So what am I going to dock with when I get up there? This is my test world, my vanilla world. I'll show you who I'm going to dock with up there. We got Kerbal up there, floating around. He's at about 80,000 meters, and he's waiting for us. And what you want to do when you are doing an intercept like this is you want to launch when he's right about there. But I'm going to actually wait for a second. I'm going to show you guys how to do this. If you're sitting on a launch pad, I'm right there. You can just fast forward it, and you can wait for him to come back around, and then you can just launch just like this. This way you're going to be as close to him as you possibly can, and you'll be all good to go. I'm just going to fast forward through here. You guys should know how to do the orbiting and stuff like that, so just get yourselves into an orbit, and I will see you when we are about to make our orbit, and then we're going to change some ways on how we're going to intercept this guy. We're going to decide how we're going to do it. So here we go. Alright guys, I'm back here. I'm still in my ascent stage towards him, and as you can tell, he's past us. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to make sure that we have a lower orbit than him, because we want to go faster than him. So anytime you have a lower orbit, you'll go faster than the guy above you. If you're above him, like you'll be, say he's at 80 and you're at 85, you'll be going slower than him. So if he's behind you, you'll want to do it that way too. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep doing my orbit here. Don't want to get too far ahead of him, so trying to level out. I'm going to go for 70. What is he? He's at 80. Yeah, I'm going to go for maybe 72, just for I don't mess things up here. So I want to be below him. Anytime you do a low Kerbal orbit, you want to make sure you're above 70, because that's above the atmosphere of Kerbal, and you'll be in space, so it'll be a lot easier to do stuff. So 70. I'm going to go for 72 just to give me a little lee room there. Alright. Now we're good there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lose this stage. Again, I have plenty of fuel in here. I just don't like the space junk. You can keep this if you want, but I have plenty of fuel to catch up to him. So I'm going to lose this stage. And I'm just going to have this stage. Now we got Bill Kerman in this one, and Jebediah is over here. So again, we're going to circleize, so you're going to want to be on the prograde. And you can set up your node if you wish here. I'll just do it for I can get this pretty dang close. Just make sure you're out of the atmosphere with your PE. There we go. That's good. I'm going to put that now on the... Actually, it'll be at the retrograde by the time it gets over here. And something I might have forgot to mention in some of the last videos is that this is off right now because we're not actually over the prograde yet. But it's still... The mechanics of how I explained how things work still work just the same. Oh, and another thing of note is that when you're this low in orbit, it's kind of a pain in the butt if you don't get this right on, or you don't get quite close enough to them, because you're only allowed so much time compression at this low orbit. So I think at this low we're only allowed 50 times, which if he's way over here, it's going to take you forever to time compress to get to him. So make sure when you launch, you're launching in his window where he's about coming over you. As you can see, when I launched, he actually passed us, so you actually have a little bit more room to wait until he's a little bit farther over. Not much more room than that, though, so just keep that in mind. Again, what we're doing here is we are getting a lower orbit than him, for we are faster than him, for we can actually catch up to him. Once I circularize here, we'll see how this is going to work. Because my estimated burn is at 9 seconds. I'm just going to start burning at 5. We're at 10, 9, 8, 7. Do want to make sure that's connected. Oh, a little bit late. Oh well. Like I said, this thing has plenty, mine has plenty of fuel to do orbital operations. So you want to make sure you have enough fuel to actually do orbital intercepts when you're doing this. There we go. And now I am a tad faster than him. Let's F5 it. As you can already tell, we're actually quite close to him. Once we actually pass him, we'll only be 8,000 kilometers off of him. So what we want to do now is you want to click on the other ship, and it should say set as target. You just go like that, and he'll turn yellow like this. And what will happen is we'll have these little orange markers pop up. Each one of these is the closest orbit we will have in this particular orbit, and it gives you 2 of them. So the first one is this particular orbit. We're going to get this close, and then the next orbit is going to be the orange one, I think. Let me see. Let me make sure I read that. No, okay. So this one, the orange one's the first intersect. So it says intersect 1, and it says we'll be 193 kilometers off. And then on the second orbit, it says we'll be at, for intersect 2, we'll be 155 kilometers off. Now, I find that this thing isn't always accurate, so you're going to want to eyeball this a lot. So again, this will be on this orbit, so by the time we get over here, we'll be about, I actually am going to probably, I'll still be behind him. That's weird. I don't know why it's doing that. But anyway, so that's what those mean. So at this point, I'm just going to time compress it forward. And when I get a close enough intercept to him, I will tell you guys. You can actually afford to have a little bit less of an orbit, but I just wanted to get above the 70, so we'll catch up to him eventually. Again, I can only do 50 times X, so we'll have to keep it just like that. Actually, what's happened is I've got ahead of him. So what we need to do this now. So it's time I showed you certain new markers that are on when you actually target a vessel. This little circle, sorry, This little circle right here is where our target is. So if you point your reticle at this, you'll see that our target is right there. Now the opposite of this is my back end facing that target. It kind of looks like a Y. And we still have our prograde, which is right there, and our retrograde. And if we look at the target thing right here, it says 52.1. That's how fast our target is going relative to us. So the first thing we want to do is we want to level out our target speed. So point at the retrograde and give yourself some speed. As you can tell, I'm losing target speed. And as you can also tell, the actual retrograde is actually moving. So you want to follow it because you want to get it as close to 0 as you possibly can. Again, you always want to level out your speed comparatively towards him. And now we want to go back to the target. So this is how you basically intercept. To lose the speed in between him and you go to retrograde, and to gain speed or to get closer to him, you had to target him. So now I'm going to get close to him. We can actually watch this on the, I don't usually watch it anymore, but if we see it right here, we can see how much closer I'm getting with the lines here. And it looks like 34 is about the fastest I'm going to get. Again, if you saw that, I'm only concerned with two separate things here. His target node, which is the circle with the dot in the middle, and the retrograde. The retrograde will slow us down. Don't slow down from this thing. I've never had luck with doing it that way, because usually these line up by the time you are at his particular velocity. So always use the retrograde, and make sure you follow the retrograde. Sometimes you'll have to manually follow it and slow down a little bit, just like I did. So now I'm actually on a course with him again, and I'm going to go back to the retrograde, just like that, and I'm going to wait until I get to this intersection, and by this point we'll be at 4.8 kilometers towards him. And I'm going to slow it down, and at this point we need to slow down our velocity again. So it's like a back and forth motion. You're gaining velocity towards him, and then you're losing the velocity to actually match his orbit. This is basically what this is doing, is matching his orbit, and it's giving you a clean slate to start from. There we go. And now we can tell if he's right there, and if I point my vessel at him again, going back to the target, we can tell that he is right in front of us. Again, I'm sorry that this is dark. As long as you can see the nav ball, that's all you really need. You don't even need to be in this this screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give myself some speed again, and I'm going to get up to about 20. See how close that got us. That's going to get us to 0.8 kilometers towards him when we get to the intercept here. So just use your node system here to understand how to connect to him. I know it's confusing and it's not all that great, but the little pink circle with a dot in the middle is the target. So that's where your vessel will be pointing at him. And I want you guys to use the retrograde to kill your velocity comparable to the target. So basically consider the target MS how much faster you're going than him, and when you finally get on an intercept course with him, when you get near him, you want that at 0 for you all go in the same space and you're right close to him, and then we can switch to RCS and we can have, we can actually dock with him with RCS. So here we go. I want to get a little bit closer. He's right there. And now I'm gonna lose all my speed again. I'm just manually keeping this on there just to keep it interesting, I guess, because basically this is how you're gonna have to do it. There, so that's close enough. Now if we look at him, we go back to the target, which he's over here. Whoa, whoa. There. We point at him. There he is. He's 881 meters away. So I'm just gonna do it again. Put my reticle on the target, and I'm gonna keep it in this screen because I want to actually pay attention to when I start getting closer to him. And I'm gonna put it right on the retrograde. As you can tell, as we get closer, those two lines they match up. That's perfectly fine. Just keep your reticle on the retrograde. Just always do it on the retrograde. It works. It works beautifully. Target and retrograde is how you intercept, and it's just a ballet of burning towards the target, then slowing down to 0, and then killing your velocity, and then burning towards the target again, and killing your velocity until you get close enough where you can start using RCS and all that stuff. I'm gonna actually go a little bit closer here. There he is. He's a few meters off. I'm gonna kill all my velocity. There we go. Actually went a little bit faster than him. I'm just gonna get a little bit closer to him. He's actually right there. It's hard to see because we're such small and it's dark. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of fast forward to the light side of the planet where we can actually see this. How far away am I? Oh, we're not that far. We can just intercept him again. It's no big deal. We'll lose a little bit of speed on him. Actually, we'll be 3 kilometers away. There we go. We should have the sun out. There he is. Alright. So, we can see him a lot better now. I got RCS on. I should actually shut this off. Don't use RCS until you have to use it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go down here to the middle button. You got the top button that says staging. My mouse is down here. It says staging, docking, and orbit. You want to hit the middle button, and you want to hit the R button to turn RCS on. We're no longer going to use the engines because the engines is too much speed. This close to him, we don't want to be doing that. And your engines can actually cause his vessel to go off course because of the engine wash. So, I am gonna, now that I'm in RCS mode, there's 2 different modes. The first mode you're in is the little blue thing right here. I don't know what it's called, apologize. But anytime you're in this mode, SAS is automatically on, and you got many different functions. You got forward with the up key, you got back, you got left, you got right, so that's using W, S, A, and D, and you also got up and down, which is the shift and the control key. I'm going a little bit farther. I'm just gonna put forward, and you can tell I'm already gaining on him a little bit. Okay, the next mode is if you hit the shift key, and it will get you to the RTO mode. That way you can control which way your vessel is pointing with the RCS. It works just like that a little bit. See if we can we want to get a little bit closer to him now. So I'm going to kind of point at him and do some forward thrust. Again, forward thrust is with the W, backwards thrust is with the S, left is with the A, and right is with the D. And if you want to thrust upwards, you hit the shift key, and if you want to go downwards, you hit the control key. An important note, I'm going to probably repeat this many times in here, is that sometimes your controls will be messed up. They won't be messed up, but they'll be reversed. So it's something you got to get a little bit used to. There's a couple different view keys. If you hit the V key, a lot of people like to use the chase mode key. I don't particularly like using that. I like using this camera view right now. It just works for me. I don't know much more about that. So let's just get a little bit closer to him. Kind of thrust forward. And I want to go to the retrograde now. Remember, if you want to kill your velocity, if you kind of messed up which way you were going, when you were thrusting forward to him, like I did a little bit right there, just go back to the retrograde key and thrust keep thrusting forward. Obviously, it's always forward when you're on the retrograde key, and that will set you up to kill all of your velocity. So that's pretty much all I'm doing right now. Usually I get myself a little bit closer than this, but I wanted to get us on the light side of the moon for we can actually see what we're doing. You always want to kind of see what you're doing. Again, as always, I forget to put lights on my vessel, which helps with the videos so much, but I keep forgetting to do it because I'm not used to putting a lot of lights on my vehicles. So, yeah. And all I'm really trying to get here is I'm just trying to get a little bit closer. I'll get this all fixed here. Let me get this all done here, and we'll go back to it. We'll fix this up, as they say in the world of Kerbal Space Program. Adjustments. There, now I've totally killed my velocity. So, a lot of people don't like the docking mode because what happened there, I just got a little bit confused in which way was which. And so yeah, you can do it either way. You can use it with the docking mode, or you can use the default keys, which H and N would be forward and back, I, J, K, and L would be sideways, up, and everything else. So I like docking mode because it's easier once you get closer. So I'm gonna hit the spacebar key again, put in ROT or whatever that mode says. I'm gonna point my vessel right at the target, hit the T key again to put it back into the other, not the T key, sorry, I mean the spacebar to put it back into the other version. I can't really read what those say. I think it says UN, I'm not sure. I'm gonna hit the forward key. I'm gonna get even closer to him. He's got a docking node, and I got a docking node too. Now again, like I was saying before, how I intercept people is a lot of people will change their camera view, and there's a few camera views you can have. I'm in I don't know which one I'm in, but if you hit the V key, it'll change you to orbital view, which is not gonna work. Chase view, which is what a lot of people like to use because it keeps your RCS nodes at their default. Or auto. Yeah, that's what I usually keep mine in, is auto. So I'm actually coming up on him. I'm going to actually start slowing down here. Totally kill my velocity a little bit. And as we can tell, he is actually right there. So if we want to line him up with us, all you have to do is hit the little bracket key. There's the two brackets right above the enter key. You can switch to his vessel. And you can have him point directly at you. Just take him out of that node. This is usually how I do it. Ah! Alright, we'll do this. We'll eventually get this. Remember, sometimes the stuff is completely backwards, which it is in this version with him. Everything's backwards. Wonderful. And I am pretty close to him. Not very happy with that, but I'm not going to sit here and fiddle with it all the time. Put him in SAS to keep him stable, and then hit the bracket key again. Now you can tell he's right there, and his docking node is right there. Now if you click on his docking node and set as target, it will set him that particular node as the target, which will make it for your target bracket is now actually his node. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up my node. So again, all this is all I'm doing is using the keys. Now my keys are reversed now. I've gotten so used to this that if you want to put it in chase mode, which is just like that, I don't like chase mode because I just don't really like it. But chase mode makes it for your I'll try it in chase mode for you guys, but chase mode makes it for your all your buttons are doing what they're supposed to be doing. So left is left, right is right. Up, and yeah, you get the picture. But I don't like chase mode. I don't like it at all. So I usually just stay in here. I've gotten so used to doing this. So now I'm just going to get closer to him. I'm going to have to target. Every time you switch target like that, you're going to have to target him again because that's how the game basically works. It'll cancel your target, so you'll just have to target again. And you'll just want to eventually come in slow using RCS. Learn which way the keys are going. Kind of slow down before you get to them. I'm a little bit off, but I just tried to correct that. You can tell I'm just using very small RCS thrusters on this. And I know I'm going a little bit sideways. And when you get close enough to the, remember you can push spacebar to actually help line up your vessel closer to him. Just like that. Then hit spacebar again and you're back in this mode. A little bit off. I've never canceled out my forward velocity, so I'm going to actually be right on him right here. I'm going to slow it down a little bit. I'm going to give it a little kick like that. And right there. Now, the vessels have a little magnetic thing where when you get close enough, they'll automatically pull each other to each other. And as you just saw right there, that was the little magnetic pull that we got from that. And that's basically it. We have two vessels docked with each other now. And it's hard to teach docking because it's a lot of different RCS thrusting. And just remember that sometimes your RCS can be reversed. So you'll have to learn which ways are which. Chase mode might work better for you. I don't particularly like using chase mode. Chase mode will keep all your RCS buttons while they're in docking mode relatively in where they're supposed to be. So up will be up, down will be down, sideways will be sideways, and shift and control will be actually the up and down. Sorry. As always, guys, this is Malkuth 1974. I hope that helped you guys out a little bit. If not, we will just ask some questions in the thing there. So, we'll see you guys later.